lads, you need to back up a little bit.
I assume you are the lovers of free speech because you have come to Speaker's Corner.
Say something!
Are we live? This is from Martin Selner. Dear friends, dear Britons, and dear lovers of free speech, I assume you are all lovers of free speech because you have come to Speaker's Corner. You might not understand all the fuss happening today around this speech. Honestly, I don't understand it either. My name is Martin Selner. I am an Austrian patriot. And at the moment, I am sitting in a detention cell in Colnbrook Bypass near Heathrow. My smartphone was taken and my girlfriend Brittany was separated from me. I currently don't know where she is. We will be deported on Sunday. 5 minutes ago, they unlocked our cells and my fellow inmates are gathering in the prison wing. They are mostly illegals and Eastern European criminals. What brought me into this situation? What was my crime? My crime was that I wanted to be here with you, to speak at Speaker's Corner. But let's start at the beginning. I was invited by UKIP to present my movement at an event last autumn. I represent Generation Identity, a patriotic European youth movement that is raising awareness for mass immigration and Islamisation. Far left people call us right wing. People who want to shut down free speech call us fascist. And folks who hate their own culture call us racist. In reality, we're a group of young patriots fed up with the system, the mainstream press and the lying politicians. We use peaceful activism to make our voices heard. And contrary to our friends on the radical left, who are probably swarming you right now, we never wear masks. From Paris to Rome, from Vienna to London, we fight peacefully, but without compromise for our freedom, our homeland and our identity. This is what I wanted to speak about in autumn, but the conference was cancelled due to threats from the radical left. The venue would not take the risk, so they rescheduled it for March, this time keeping the venue secret. But again, the terror of the left prevailed and the venue dropped out. But this time I did not want them to win. It was about principles and also our flight booked. My last refuge was Speaker's Corner. I remembered my mother telling me about that special place when I was a child. It seemed almost magical to me. A place where everyone, without admission, could just stand on a box and start to speak to those who wanted to listen. I've always loved this tradition of Speaker's Corner, which seemed very British to me. I have come only to see that this tradition, the tradition of freedom of speech in the UK, is dead. I should be speaking in a neat, warm conference room right now, and you should be sitting comfortable chairs. Instead, I'm in my cell and you're on the streets in a standoff with the enemies of freedom of speech. This is very telling. Today, there is a war going on. It's a war for our freedom of speech. This war is being sought on the streets by you. Days of your childhood, I ask you, I command you, break free. Patriots of the UK, come out of the closet, make your dissent visible by acts of resistance that will inspire others. I know for certain that millions in the UK think like me. Those millions should be on the street now. We need a coming out of the silent majority or Britain is lost. We need a free, open and honest debate about immigration, about Islam and about democracy. We can sort these problems out together. And I know that the force is still in you. With your Brexit vote, you stun the world. The will for the life of the British nation is not broken. Initially, I asked if freedom of speech is dead in the UK. You, every one of you who came today, is a living sign that the traditions of the UK are not dead. You are the lively tradition of your nation, saving its face before history. People of the UK, remember who you are. Remember your glorious... Remember Remember your glorious past. You are the sons and daughters of knights, of kings, of explorers, philosophers and artists. Who is the sovereign in this country? It's you, the people. You, the silent and invisible majority who said no during Brexit. You can say no again. No to Islamisation. No to mass immigration. And no to the Great Replacement. And yes to your identity, your security. Yes to your heritage and the future of your children. And all this is impossible without freedom of speech. One sec, lads, we'll just reach to the live stream.
Turn this one, Tom!
Tommy.
Fucking taxi! I know that if these words will find their way to the UK and even to Speaker's Corner, it would be a victory for our cause. If they did, if you were hearing them now, I tell you, go further on that winning streak. Don't be afraid, because we have an ally that is unbeatable. We have the truth. The battle, our battle for freedom of speech has just begun. And Speaker's Corner. And Speaker's Corner will become a symbolic place in that struggle. When you go home, I know I want you to bring the spirit of Speaker's Corner with you. Every single person who raised his hand because he could not relate to that moment. He will dare not speak his mind. Promise me, promise yourself, next time I will overcome my inner fear. Next time I will speak up. That was a speech by Martin Selner. The message to the Home Office, to the police, to the security services. You may stop the speaker. Today proved you will not stop the speech.
You steadied my arm.
I've come in today to give Martin's speech. This was about our country this week has arrested 4 different people. A female journalist from America arrested and detained for 3 days because she's coming to do an interview. Arrested Lawrence Southern at the border, who has been banned from the UK because of her Islamic belief. We've seen Lutz Backman arrested this morning and deported. And Martin Selner arrested. I haven't come here today to speak about my politics. Today has to be about the right to free speech and Martin Selner's speech. Which is why today I want the only video going live is Martin's speech. And as he says at the end of his speech, he wants people to speak up. And he says he wants people to have the spirit of Speaker's Corner with them. We have 300 years of history of people standing in this position. Some of the most controversial figures in our history. As I said, today is about Martin's speech. I will return here next Sunday. Who knows? I think Speaker's Corner is going to become the battleground for free speech in the UK. Every single Muslim who turned up here today, who's come to who's come here, I'll spend 8 hours in this park next Sunday. I'll talk to every one of you. I'll place with every one of you. And again, to the Home Office. If Martin Sellner would have been allowed here to speak, he'd have spoke to 100 people. Right now, these scenes are being beamed across the world live. Yes! Yes! The last week's actions by our Home Office have relit the fire and the fight for the British people.
Suspect this been built or something. What are you saying on yours?
See you all next Sunday, 3 p.m.
Go on, Tommy!
Over 4,000 people live right now.
Move back!
Keep the police away from them.
Come on!
Excuse me, mate. Sorry, I'm sorry. You got to do. I mean, we speak. Are you good, mate? This one, mate. You want? Go on, Tommy. Moving out. Sorry, where's Mate, I said he was going to come. Moving forward. Coming through.
Go on, Tommy, you're a legend, mate.
Go in.
You're a legend, Tommy. Go on, son.
Guys, that way!
To your right. Go on, son. This way. Are you ready? You good? Get him out the way, Jake. Out the way, coming through.
Things you have to do for free speech, eh, Tommy?
Well in there, Tom.
What you have to do for free speech in this country now?
No writing, boys. No writing, Tom. No writing.
Go on, Tommy. Tommy Robinson. Tommy Robinson.